Late night, mic blowing in the room. That boogie talk hoops, let the truth cut through the fumes. From the blacktop dreams to the banners in the rafters. We talk legacy, not just scores from the afters. Every take measure. What's happening? From the elbow, history in the rhythm. Every word. We got more music from my man Ween. So I'm gonna tell him just keep them coming. But we live. It's Saturday. I was out yesterday, kind of got away from me. But we back, and it works. We got some games coming on at 2:30. We got a lot of college hoops. We got some games coming on tonight, so it works out pretty good for us. So, hey, what's happening? Happy Saturday. It's a beautiful day out here in Texas. About to roll out, have some fun today. What are we sipping on today? We got a Modelo, Limon, little Michelada. Oh, man, that's good. We're going to have a few of these today. It's birthday weekend, man. We're going to have a few of these. So, hey, let's go. So, today we're going to do a little differently, man. We hit the trade deadline, ended Thursday. And wasn't a lot of hoopla like last year when we got AD, when AD was traded. This year was kind of calm, but I think there was a common theme that we saw. We talked earlier in the season about the apron, the first, second levels over the salary cap. So what we saw over this last trade deadline was a lot of people were dumping salaries, making trades to get under the cap. So they may have we saw a lot of players getting traded for cash considerations, future picks, things like that. So like, for example, the Clippers won big because they didn't waive Chris Paul. They just sent him home. But they were able to trade him for a pick or two. So that's a big win. That was close to $50 million they got off the books this year. So that's huge for the Clippers. And then, of course, we'll jump into what they did with Harden, which we're going to call the Garden trade. Thanks, Ann. I'm going to give you a shout on that one. But there was some other stuff done around the league, especially with the Clippers, too. So we're going to talk about the winners from this trade deadline. We're going to talk about the losers. And we're going to talk, there's some trades that are TBD. Like, I really don't know what these mean. So, like I said, wasn't a lot of big names. AD got moved again. We knew about Trae Young. And you got Harden. Those are probably the biggest names. There were some things that were done through the course of the last. Things were busy. There was a lot of activity, but not a lot of meaningful activity. So we're just going to kind of run through some of the ones that, and I thought a lot of these were, some were one-sided, but some teams won. Like I said, either a team may have won because they got the player they wanted, or they won because they got the cap space they won. Like the Nuggets made a couple of minor trades. They just took a dude off the roster for $5 million, but it put him under the salary cap. So now you think about extensions for next year, they're in a good position. So let's just go down the line, man, and talk about these a little bit. So one of the ones that really got me, man, because you know this guy's true to my heart, man, the Zubac trade. Really didn't see this coming. But again, this was a move for the Clippers. Zubac got some years in the league, man, but he's had a great, I think when Zubac walks away from this game, he can say he had a great, very good, borderline great NBA career. Double-double, played on some good teams, didn't go far, but that was just, you know, if you could say anything, he might have been the most stable thing that the Clippers have had over the last 10 years. You think about the Harden, you think about the Paul George, you think about Kawhi playing. Zubac has played 75% of the games he's been in the Clippers uniform. So they traded Zubac to the Pacers for Benedict Mathurin. I like them both, but this is a great move for the Pacers because you're just setting up for next year. And a lot of the moves we're going to talk about is chess. These were chess moves. They position themselves for next year. So now when Hallie comes back, you got rid of Miles Turner. Now you got Zubac, you got Siakam, you got everybody else. You lost Benedict, you lost Mathurin, but he was coming off the bench. You can find a wing. Like there are guys out there that can play that role. You look at what Denver's doing with Watson. Like, you find these guys, there's some gems out there. You just got to get them out there and let them play. So I like this move for Indiana. They're in a great position. They'll be right back where they were, and you almost have to put them back in that favorite competition again when they're healthy next year. This one is just great for New York fans. Jose Alvarado going to the Knicks. If you don't know him, he recently got into a fight. Was it KD? I forgot who he got it for, but he like 5'11". He's not even 6 feet tall, man. But this is the guy, if you recall, if you watched him play with the Pelicans, he'll kind of like hide in the corner on an out-of-bounds play. And then he'll just run and steal the ball. Like very sneaky, but he's a New York kid, born and raised, hard-nosed player. He's from the barrio. He's a Knick guy. Like it works for the Knicks. So I'm happy for them. And it gives them some guard depth because they don't have a lot of point guard depth. So this helps out. They didn't give up much, a couple of second-round picks. So the Knicks, we thought they may do something with Giannis, but in overall scheme, Giannis didn't move. So I think the Knicks are going to stay par to the course, and we'll see where they end up. That's about what we got with the Knicks. This one is interesting, and I like it because I won't say I know the kid, but I've had interactions with him through the AAU circuit. The Lakers picked up Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard could shoot, always could. Ohio's, I'm pretty sure he broke LeBron's record, and he's the all-time leading scorer in the state of Ohio. That's how good this kid was. Went to Duke, played for the Indy Speeds. So we watched him play. I watched him play in high school. I watched him play in Duke. Dude shooting about 50%. This is the biggest problem the Lakers had over the last 4 years. They cannot shoot. So now they got a guy that can shoot lights out. So now it's just a way of putting him in the rotation where he can get the touches he needs to make an impact, to open it up for Ayton. Maybe Ayton can hit some damn layups, and Rui can get some more activity down low, right? Because LeBron clogging the lane. So you got these things that have been the Achilles heel for the Lakers. So hopefully this can fix it. It's not going to solve everything for them, but it's definitely a move that may, help them a little bit. It's not going to make them a contender, but it will help the game a little bit. This next one hurts me, man. And it hurts the city of Chicago. I talked to my cousin. I talked to Teddy Mack. The Bulls, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the Bulls, but this is a win for Minnesota, man. They got a great guard in Ayo. Ayo from the Bulls for Rob Dillingham and a couple other players, man. This one hurt. We've watched Ayo since Morgan Park, Mac Irvin Fire. He had a stellar career, Illinois. He's been probably, you think about all the Bulls guards, he's been the most consistent over the last 4 years. Always available, ready to work. His game has gotten better every year. He's gonna shine out there playing next to Anthony Edwards. He's athletic. They're gonna run the ball. This is a big win for Minnesota, man. Now you talk about a move that'll help them. This is gonna help them in the long run. It'll help them this year. It's going to definitely help them in the long run. So I think this was huge for Minnesota. For Dillingham, a great coming out of Kentucky. Great prospect. It just hasn't come to fruition in Minnesota. So maybe a change of scenery. They can figure out how to unlock him and get this kid. I mean, he can play. We know he can play. We got to figure out how to get him unlocked, get him on the court. He'll get more minutes now because the Bulls, we'll talk about it. I don't even want to talk about them right now. But he'll have an opportunity to play in Chicago this year. Another one. This came late. This was probably one of the last trades of the day. We finally got Kuminga out of Golden State. But he took his boy Buddy with him. So I don't know what the Warriors are doing. But they got Buddy and Kuminga. And I like this for the Hawks. You lost Hunter last year. That was a big gap. But now you got, Jalen Johnson playing well. Now you just brought in another shooter. You brought in another shooter, and you brought in an athletic, forward. Because he can play both, right? He can probably play 3, 4, and 5, depending on what you need. I hope Kuminga goes down here and just kicks ass. I hope he shines down there, man, because he deserves it. He went through a lot this year in the Warriors. He kept his mouth shut. He played... I haven't watched it all, but I guess Kerr said some nice things about him. But whatever, man. It's after the fact. You dog this kid. So they went and got Chris Tapps. So over the last few years, Chris Tapps has had some medical things going. And it's been kind of a secret. I think it came out he's some kind of disorder. Not a disorder, but he's dealing with some type of, not a fatal disease, but some type of something. I just say, I don't know. But whatever it is, it's kept him off the court. Chris Tapps has fallen into AD territory as far as availability. So they make this move. Now you got Al Horford. You lost him. They traded Trace Jackson Davis. So now you get Chris Tapps. So a lot of this is going to come on Al Horford because he's the only big available now. What are you doing? Like, you got older, less athletic. Yeah, you got a little bit of three-point shooting, but that's only if he's available. So I don't know if we're about to witness this could be the writing on the wall for the Warriors. This could be it. This could be the end. I don't think there's nothing left. I think they may have gotten a pick out of this. They got to really start thinking about the future, right? How do they rebuild and get this thing back to what they used to be? They had a great run, but I think it's ending now. Sam Presti did again. OKC. They went and got Jarek McCain. And you talk about a trade with perfect timing. Now, you guys may not remember, Jarek McCain, at one point last year, I had him as Rookie of the Year. Then he got hurt. But at that point in time, he was averaging 15 points a game, right? He was playing good. But now they got a backlog, right? They went out and drafted Edgecombe. Maxi's turned into an MVP-type player. So they got a backlog at the guard. So they made him expendable. They gave up a first and 3 second-round picks. Whatever. The man got 100 picks. But he got a guy that's going to come in and play right away. SGA just went down. He's out for 2 weeks with an abdominal strain. This kid going to play right away. They got guards, but he's going to slide in the rotation. He's probably better than some of these guards they have, too. He's just that good. So he's a little zesty. I don't know if you've seen his video. He a funny guy. But, that's just go look him up. Go look at his TikToks. Him, OKC, SGA, all of them, they like to dance and play or whatever. But the kid, at the end of the day, he can hoop. So if you get some background, I think my wife want to call downstairs. So those are my winners. Like I said, there was a lot of little bitty trades. And we haven't gotten to the big one because for me, those were losers. So the Bulls. Now we're going to talk about these loser trades a little bit, man. The Bulls, it was a point I was like, what the fuck are the Bulls doing? They made 5 trades since last week. They lost AO, Kobe White. They traded Vuk. Out of all the ones they did, and I should have said that's a win for the Celtics. I'll talk about the Vuk trade. Vuk and Herter. You just traded probably 4 out of your top 7 scorers, right? Because now all you have left is Buzelis and Giddey. Pat Williams, no, right? Gone. What did you get? Rob Dillingham. You got more guards. Colin Sexton, Rob Dillingham, Anthony Simons, and Jaden Ivey. Only guy with a huge upside on that list is maybe Jaden Ivey, Rob Dillingham. We know what Colin Sexton is going to give. He can play, but we know what you're going to get out of that. Anthony Simons, he has his moments, but he's been a journeyman his whole career. You gave up shooting. You gave up your big. You gave up 2 potential 20-plus scores and a defender. Now, I know, and you didn't get a first-round pick. The Bulls didn't get a first-round pick out of any of these trades. Now, what they did get was a lot of cap space. So they're way under the cap. I think they're at the maximum of what you'd be at. That's only going to be great next year if they can go out and get Giannis. So at this point, if you have that much cap space, you got to put a superstar next to Gideon Buzelis. Because that's what you're building on. You got to put a superstar in there. So that means you got to get Giannis. You got to go out there and get Giannis. That's the only move you can do in order for this to make sense. You got to throw every dollar you have at Giannis. So I don't know what they're going to do, but that's where we are with the Bulls. The Vuk trade. So for Boston, that's huge. This is huge for Boston. It probably puts Boston at the number 2 team in the East because I think they're just playing well. The Knicks have been on a run, and we're not going to do all our normal format today, but we'll talk about it next week after the break. That's huge for them. Now you look at Vuk has a great career, man. I think people underestimate what he's done. Vuk has just over 16,000 points in his career. He's a double-double. Vuk was an all-star down in Orlando. Like, Vuk is legit, man. He's another one. Like he's better than Zubac. And we know how I love Zubac. Zubac's had a great... He's had a very outstanding career, man, in the NBA. And he just went to the Celtics, to a team that's already thriving. And you may not see it all this year, but when Tatum comes back, you're really going to see some problems down there in Boston. And it's going to be because of them adding Vuk. So that's huge for Boston. Now, let's talk about the Garden trade. And this was a straight up. We haven't seen a good straight up trade in a long time. James Harden for Darius Garland. So what does this mean? So for the Clippers, I think the Clippers just threw in the towel. And I was a little surprised by all of this because the Clippers have been playing well. And I know they got a lot of money off the books. You probably net $20,000 between Harden and Garland because Garland made some money too. So you got the money off the books, but what are you doing now? You got Kawhi and Garland. You don't have a center. Like, you kind of stripped the team down. So I don't know if Kawhi's sitting there like, what the fuck are we doing? You're really hurting his chances too. But, and they're hosting an all-star team. So now you're bringing in, I forgot about that. We'll talk about that in a little bit when we talk about the all-stars. And they're hosting an all-star game. You got to get a fan something to big. You just took all the air out of the new Clipper Stadium with all these moves. Like, you could have traded Harden and kept Zubac, and that might have been okay. I mean, they got Brook Lopez back there, so they got some guys that can play. But you took a lot of the air out of the Clippers and what they're doing, the new stadium, everything, hosting the All-Star game. Like, there's going to be a lot of rumblings around the stadium. You can believe that over the next week and a half. So for Cleveland, I get it. It's an immediate win because you get 25 points a game. It really takes a load off of Spider because he's been carrying this team. We talked about it, right? Spider's been doing it all. So now he doesn't have to score 35, 40 a night. He's playing more minutes than anybody in the league. So you can kind of give him a rest going into the playoffs. But what you did was you brought a loser to your organization, man. And I'm going to call it what it is, man. James Harden ain't going to win you nothing. He never has, never will. They got the strip clubs out there putting up signs, welcome James Harden, we can't wait to see you in Cleveland. Like, it's only person this helps is Donovan. Because he gets to take some wear and tear off his body. Cleveland may win a few more games. Like I said, they were fighting to get back in the top 4. I think they're 4 now. But as far as being a championship team, I think you took something away because he just brings something. I don't know what it is, but he brings an element of non-winning to your organization. It probably didn't matter in LA because that was an organization that already didn't have a winning atmosphere. So it kind of slid under the rug there. But here, Cleveland did win something with LeBron. You got some young guys that are playing very well, and now you bring this into the mix. And I just don't think it's going to work in the long term. But hey, that's just me. Whatever. That's just me. So we'll see what happens. But I'm not a fan of this. He says he didn't ask for the trade. We know what happened the last 3 times. He wanted out of Houston. He wanted out of New Jersey. He wanted out of Philadelphia. But he says this time this wasn't on him. So we don't know. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Now we got a couple trades that I just don't know what are they going to be. Utah possibly could be very good. Only reason I say I don't know what it's going to be, Jaren Jackson has just been underperforming. He has the numbers, but I think he's a case of people want more. As a big saying with the Illinois Knights, man, we know you can get more. We want more out of you. And I don't think Jaren Jackson was doing that in Memphis. Maybe this new environment, because they got a squad over here in Utah. Utah got something. You got Lauri Markkanen, should have been an all-star. Keontae George definitely could have been an all-star. Ace Bailey is coming around. He's starting to figure it out. You got that kid Bryce Sensabaugh. We talked about the score of 40 about a few weeks ago. Like, they have talent. They have something to work with. So it's just a matter of, Is this all going to come together? Can Quinn Snyder pull it together and get these guys playing well? I like what they have on paper, but let's see what it looks like on the court. So that's why I say this is a maybe trade. I'm not sure. This one just made no sense to me. DeAndre Hunter, and it had some impact. Cleveland went and got DeAndre, and I know why they did it. They let DeAndre Hunter go. They traded him for Dennis Schroeder and somebody else from Sacramento. Russ took Schroeder's job, so that made Schroeder expendable. And it's funny about Schroeder. If you go back about 7 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago, the Lakers offered Schroeder a bag of money, and he turned it down. Since then, that man has been traded about 8 times. He's been on like 8 or 9 teams since he turned down that money, man. Just NBA is ruthless. Like, it's ruthless. But anyway, so you got DeAndre Hunter there, and I don't even know what that means, man. This team they fired Mike Brown. They went out. You got Zach LaVine. You got Russ. You got DeMar DeRozan. I don't even know what this team is, man. They're just a bunch of California guys hooping. That's what they are. They're just out there playing, man. You fired Mike Brown coming off of Coach of the Year. You hired Doug Christie. And it's just not working down there. You know, you waited to the last minute to get Russ. Russ probably the most consistent player on that team right now. So that's why I say this one is I don't know what this means trade. What it did do, Schroeder going to Cleveland made my boy Zoe expendable, man. So Zoe got traded. I think Zoe went to Utah, but they're going to cut him. I think it was Utah. But he's going to get cut. And then maybe his brother got enough pull, he can go sign him in the Hornets, man. I just don't want to see this be the end for Zoe. And then your boy, man. So this one here, and this was another one I say, it's I don't know what it is. It's a maybe trade. And I'm almost to a point I feel bad for the guy, man. AD. And he probably didn't see this one coming. Rich Paul said he knew about it. AD didn't know. So AD gets traded to Washington. Don't nobody want to go to Washington Wizards. But when I took a second and stepped back, I said, well, you already got Trae Young. You got AD. But then they got a bunch of young players. They got Sarr. They got a couple other wings. So maybe they could be something next year. They just ruled AD out for the season yesterday. Trae Young hasn't played since he's been traded. So maybe they finish tanking this year, get one of these top draft picks. You toss that in the mix, and now you got something. They haven't had a big like this since the Juwan Howard, Chris Webber days, right? That's when Washington Wizards were kind of good. So I don't know what this one is, man. But again, for AD, they say he's not happy, which I wouldn't be. You went out of Dallas, but what Dallas did, Dallas just said, hey, we giving the reins to Cooper Flagg, man. This is his team. And I'm going to tell you something. Over the last week, the kid responded, man. He's kind of locking up the Rookie of the Year, barring all injuries. I think he's put up 30 twice. He's had a 40-piece. So he's been balling. He's stepped up to the load. And he's telling the team, I saw an interview, Coop said he's just not used to losing. He ain't never lost this much in his life. But anyway, so those are my, I don't know what those mean trades. And then we talk about the stuff that didn't happen, right? So there was a lot of noise about Giannis. Is Giannis going? Where is he going to go? Who? So we heard a lot of noise. The Knicks were doing something. The Warriors were doing something. But I think Milwaukee said, I don't have to do anything. Milwaukee doesn't have to do anything. And they sat tight. So good for them. They didn't rush it. They'll make a move in the offseason. Now, they waited, watched all the trades. A lot of these teams have money, cap space. They can demand what they want. So I think we'll see something. Or they may make a move the other way to keep Giannis. They may bring in something that keeps Giannis. So we'll see. So you got Giannis. Melo. There's a lot of noise around Melo getting traded. Well, the Hornets are 8-0, and a lot of this is the Melo and how these guys are playing. Melo, Miles Bridges, Canepo Diabatu, and Brandon Miller This lineup, when they've started together, they're like 14-1. And I'm telling you, I watch them. When they play, I watch them, man. And I think that's the reason why LaMelo's name might have gotten, Hornets may have pulled back a little bit because they're starting to see some success with this youth movement they got going. And I like them. Like I said, they're fun to watch. Ja. So then we talked about Ja a little bit. They're saying nobody called about Ja. And Ja's had some challenges over the years, man. We know this. We all know this, right? The last 3 or 4 years have been kind of rough on Ja. But it's not only that. Ja can't shoot. He's shooting like 20%, man. And in today's NBA, you got to be able to shoot. You think about Derrick Rose. He changed his game, worked on his jump shot, but he changed his game because of injuries. Ja hasn't had these knee problems yet, but all his points come going to the rim. You can't do that in this NBA. All the herky-jerky, high-flying, jumping. I know he's not dunking like he used to be, but you got to be able to shoot that thing from three in this league right now. And he can. So what is he bringing to a team? Like, he's not as good as Melo. I'm going to be honest with you. Melo can shoot. Melo can dribble like the ball on a yo-yo. He can get to the rim if he got to get to the rim. He'll put you on skates. Ja's game hasn't evolved. They're saying that people are saying, if you want Ja, you got to give me a pick. That's called negative value in the league. If you got to toss in a pick to get something for a guy that once was heralded as probably the face of the league. So Ja's at home still. So he's not moving. So that's kind of where we are with the trade. So everything was done. Nothing too crazy, like I said. Nothing, outside of the James Harden, the next biggest thing. The same 2 years in a row, AD is on the move. But that's what we is. So got some other news I'm going to talk to you about All-Stars, and then we're going to get into this Saturday afternoon, man. Everybody go have some fun. SGA out for 2 weeks, I told you. So we talked about it. He's out. Joker's back. Can OKC stay afloat? Good thing we're going into the All-Star break, so that won't be a lot of games. Luka, pull hammy, probably okay. He'll probably not play this week, rested through the All-Star game, but one that's going to affect any MVPs, any votes for him. We're not. So he's out again. AR, Austin Reeves just came back. We've only seen them together about 4 times this year. Austin Reeves, Luka, and LeBron. Really would like to see that on a regular basis, see what this team looks like. Told you AD's out. Another one, Mike Conley. You guys know I'm a fan. A lot of connections. His dad went to Luther South. My boy Hobbs, his cousin, family there. So he's another one. I got to watch Mike Conley young playing AAU for a long time. He went through a lot of trades this week, so I'm sure it was rough. But he's in the process of getting waived and working on to get re-signed back with Minnesota. So good for him, man. They can do. It's one of those things where the fine print in the rules, because of where he was, the exceptions, and being traded twice, you can go back and re-sign with your original. It's all kind of little loopholes in this stuff, but he's able to go back to Minnesota, re-sign, and he'll be able to finish out the season with them. So that's good for him, man. And then I told you Zoe is a free agent. Hopefully somebody picks up Zoe where he hasn't been shooting the ball well, so maybe he can find a spot where he can get in and be effective. So what I want to end you with today, man, is so next week's All-Star game. We'll probably wrap up this week, go into the All-Star game next week. So the lineups have been announced. So I want to give you the team. So we talked about we got a new format, USA versus the world. So what they've done is we have 2 USA teams, 1 world team. You play kind of a round-robin format. And then whoever has the most wins, I think the 2 wins, then you end up in the championship. Everybody plays everybody. So here is the USA first team. Scotty Barnes, shout out to him in reserve. Book, reserve. Cade, starter. Duran, start. Ant-Man, Chet, Jalen Johnson, Tyrese Maxey. So that's USA 1 team. USA 2, Jaylen Brown, Brunson, Steph Curry, KD, LeBron, Kawhi, So Kawhi got called in to replace Giannis, right? Now this All-Star game, and this was the NBA's fault. He should have been named reserve right away. He's playing well. Clippers have come back. They just dropped the ball on this one. It's at home. You always have a hometown guy in the All-Star game if your city is hosting. So Kawhi is in now, Spider and Norman Powell. So that's USA 2. Here comes the world team. And it's funny, listen to this. Giannis, MVP. Luka, MVP candidate. SGA, MVP. Jamal Murray, Siakam, Cat, Wemby. I think Joker was out only because of injuries. And then you got Denny. I think he was replaced by Denny. So I think USA 2 is the team to beat only because Joker is not on that world team and Giannis won't play. Cat's playing on the world team. Siakam, Jamal Murray. I think that's Barbados or Jamaica or something. SGA is Canada. I like USA 2 winning this because the old guys, I think this is going to be their farewell All-Star game. KD, LeBron, Steph. I think this is it. So let's see. So I picked USA 2. So that's my pick for that one. I think if healthy, if everybody were to play, the world would win. Now, what I'm hoping is that because of this, I hope there's some pride from the USA team. And it should be pride on both sides to represent your respective countries and go out and play hard, man. That's what I want to see. I want to see if this is the thing that gets them to go out and play hard. We're all about country right now. We want to thank everybody for their service and all the good things that we've done. And I'm not downplaying anything like that, but we are very proud right now, despite things that may be going on in our country. But I want to see if that translates to the basketball court and if these guys will go out and play hard because of this format. So we'll see. So, hey, that's it for the week. Got your plays. I'm still running with the same plays, man. I still like these Canepo threes, Steph Curry threes, Klay Thompson threes, Cooper Flag rebounds. Sengun points, stay away from because he hasn't been doing it lately. Denny points are still good. Those are some of my consistent plays that I've been trying to hit on, but I ain't been hitting, but I've been trying. So, hey, have a great Saturday. Enjoy yourself. Thanks again as always, man. And keep watching. Thanks for all the love and support.